part of my journey is realizing optimal health. And I look at, for myself, movement.
Yeah.
I look a lot at nutrition. I look a lot at sleep.
Yeah.
And then also it's mind, body, and spirit is kind of like the topics.
Sure.
But within those, there's like subsections,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Feel for you. With the body and with mind, there's that like nutrition, sleep, and movement.
Yeah.
What other ones would go in there? What am I missing?
So that's what, when I think a lot of how I describe this to clients is a triangle. So I approach a client, I'm like, I'm going to look at 3 different points of the triangle. One is going to be the external piece. This is food, what you're putting in your body. So still external in my mind, right? Obviously the inside's a different piece, but externally, what food you are physically putting in your mouth and how you are moving your body. So that's exercise, but it's not just exercise.
It's input and output.
Right. So the external part of that is, so movement, I will say exercise, but also this is what your day-to-day looks like. Are we sitting at a desk? Are you standing? Are you at a standing desk? Are you out talking with clients? And that makes a big difference.
Right.
So that's the external piece. Then there's the internal piece. The internal piece is lab work. So typically blood work. GI mapping for me is one of the things that I do a lot of. So looking at your microbiome, and I can talk more about that, but another internal piece there, potentially looking at hormones and the methylation pathways of that, which I find a lot more prevalent in women than men, especially.
Methylation pathways?
Methylation. It's
methylation pathways. Wow.
Yeah. So basically how the hormones are breaking down and the pathways they're going through and how well they do that, right? So think of a drain. We want to make sure things are flowing and going through the drain properly. They're not getting stuck anywhere.
Okay.
And so I would say I mostly work with, I would say my niche is people between the ages of 40 and 60 primarily. That's not to say I don't have ones out of that, but I would say most of my people between 40 and 60. And for my women clients, that is prime time for perimenopause and menopause.
Right.
And that is very impactful on mind and body and spirit. And so that's another internal piece. So that's the internal piece that I look at. And then the last one I usually say is the mind. But that is stress, how you process stress, but also what your beliefs are. Like if you do not believe your body can change, I promise your body will put every stop to it.
This is mindset.
Yeah. So that's why I say all-encompassing mind, because stress isn't necessarily mindset. Like you might have actually, my dog died, I lost my job.
Right.
But
the beliefs part is really, what are the stories you tell yourself about your body? What are the stories you tell yourself about your mind?
Absolutely.
Do you believe in neuroplasticity?
Yeah.
Like, can you change?
And do you believe your body can change? Do you believe it's possible for your body? Because if you don't, or if anyone doesn't,
we got to work
then your body will stop it. Our minds are powerful. And I refer to this a lot. I don't know if any of you or you have seen the show House. I don't even know if it's on.
Yeah, anymore. I watched House back in the day.
And there was, probably several episodes, but one that I remember really well, somebody was sick and they did all these tests. They couldn't find anything. And then, another person was. And I don't want to quite go into hypochondriac, but all these people had moved in the state where they thought they were sick. And then they were creating physical symptoms in their body because of their mind. The mind is powerful.
Yeah.
And if you think that you have a brain tumor, you can give yourself headaches and you may not have any, tumor. And anyway, so there is...
Placebos work a percentage of the time.
And it goes both ways, right? Which is why I strongly believe in also the Patch Adams approach. If you believe your body can heal, your body will try, but you have to give it half a chance. And part of that is from the mind. You have to believe that you can.
Yeah.
But also that correlates to like physical things too, right? Because if you don't believe that going to the gym will build muscle on you, then also how easy is it going to be to put on your tennis shoes and walk out the door?
Right.
So then it translates to physical things too.
Right. Because
Um,
it moves itself to behavior. It like
it does. It does.
leads to behavior.
And so I mean, this is such a random ADD tangent where
Yeah,
we're going here. But it's, I don't, now I lost it. I was like talking about
that's
the
okay.
tangent. I lost the tangent. It'll come
That's
back
kind of
to
a
me.
mindset is really important.
Yeah.
It's like a huge part of it. And you know, the story I thought about was people that get like stuck on a mountain or out in the woods, and the thing that like carries them to civilization or to safety is like just this belief that they'll be with their partner again, or some like driving thing is fueling their like last steps.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like the
remember
guy
saying.
on Everest. There was this one guy that actually was overnight. I recently watched a movie about Everest,
Yeah.
and it was like this guy. There was no way this guy should have survived.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was just through sheer willpower.
Which I also think, which actually goes into what I was, forgot briefly what I was going to say is about willpower. But before I say that, I actually don't believe it's just willpower. But I'll pause on that to say this is also where I think that connection, relationships, and community make a big difference.
Yes.
Because then they're like, can my body physically survive this or whatever? But sometimes people are much more willing, and again, I hate to go down the gender path, but especially the women that I work with are so set on giving to their husband and kids or whatever that they put themselves last. And so, but again, if they're willing to do something for someone else, for themselves, for someone else, so sometimes, you know, whatever they're on Everest, like I want to live for this person, right? So it's more than just themselves, and I think that connection is really powerful. But coming full circle back to willpower, I actually tell my clients all the time, I don't believe in just willpower. I'm not saying there's not an aspect of that, because I do think there is an aspect of, you know, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and putting your tennis shoes on and walking out the door, for sure.
Yeah.
But what I tell my clients is it's so much more about setup. And so this is where we get into strategy, because if someone tries to change a habit based on sheer willpower, it's not going to
last.
It's not usually sustainable. They
It
might
be lifestyle.
pull themselves to the gym or eat healthy for a month or two, but then all their demons or all the things that got them to where they were in the first place
Gonna
come back.
disrupt it. You have to
And
do it
so-
enough times for it to become a ritual or a habit in your life.
But you have to get to the root of how things changed in the first place.
Huh.